Ladies and gentlemen and graphic designers, we're going to do part 4 of Photoshop Lesson 5. We're going to learn to play with some of the selection tools. And the first selection tool we're going to play with is the pen tool. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to open our project and we're going to go File, Place, and we're going to find the beach hut. If you don't have the beach hut already, it's going to be in the regular old folder where you found all the other ones. So we're going to place the beach hut. We're going to drag it down here. We're going to press Shift to constrain the proportions. We're going to shrink it to about the size we want it to be, and then to finish it off we're going to hit enter. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to the pen tool. First of all, we're going to zoom in, but after we zoom in we're going to go to the pen tool and we're going to use the pen tool to make a selection. The pen tool is a really accurate way to make selections. You can do curves and so on and so forth. In this particular case, there's not a lot of curves, so it makes it even easier. So we're going to make sure, though, we're going to kind of float over that, and it should say path. If it doesn't say path, that's good. If it says something else, we're drawing pictures, but right now we're actually making selections. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this thing and I'm going to go click, 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 and I'm just going to keep clicking until I get the selection I want. I'm going to hit pause here for you guys so you don't have to watch me select the whole thing, but go ahead and select it. Okay, so now that you've selected it and I've selected it, what we're going to do is we're going to go into the Paths tab over here, and this is an extra thing I had. Okay, so we're going to go here and we're going to click on this and we're going to name this path that we just created. Click, click, you got to slowly click, and then you're going to name it Beach Hut. Alright, and once you've done that and named it, you're going to load it as a selection, and so we've used the pen tool to create a very accurate selection. And now we're going to go back to our layers, and just like we've done with any other selection, we're going to go ahead and turn this into a mask. Alright, so we've masked the stuff out that we don't want. Okay, so when I go to grade this, I'm going to look that you have a layer called Beach Hut. I'm going to look over here for a path, that you've created the path called Beach Hut. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to load it as a selection, and just make sure that you can, that you've done what you're supposed to do. Okay, good. So using the pen tool as a selection tool. Alright, next we're going to use other selection tools. So we're going to go back to our project here, and we're going to add in the starfish picture. So go File, Place, we're going to find the starfish, and if you don't have that, again, you'll have to download that. So we're going to go ahead and place this thing. Let me hit the hand here. Now I'm going to have to cancel. Okay, so it won't let me move around. So I'm going to drag this up to the top. So let's see if we can, let's make this a little smaller. Let's say 25. Okay, so we're going to move this up to the kind of the top. I'm going to hit Shift to constrain the proportions. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I kind of want it to be like right there. You can put it somewhere like that. Hit Enter to finish off. Okay, so now we're going to have to select this. Now watch this when I go to try to select the starfish. So I'm going to go to the Magic Wand tool, and I'm going to change this to like 32, and I'm going to start trying to select the starfish, and it's not selecting very well. Okay, so it's hard to select because it has such a variety of colors. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the quick selection tool, and I'm going to click and drag, and I'm just going to, let me zoom in on this a little bit. Okay, so back to the selection tool. I'm going to click and drag, and I'm going to get as the best I can the starfish, and I'm going to probably end up getting a little more. So I'm going to get a little more than I need of the starfish. So we're using the quick selection tool. We got carried away. Okay, so let's keep going. So we're trying to get as much of the starfish as we can, maybe a little extra if we can. Okay, but you can see that this selection is not amazing because, again, the starfish is, oh man, I'm struggling here. Okay, so we're going to, again, do the best that we can, do a quick selection, try not to get everything here. Okay, we're getting a little closer. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and make a mask on that. Okay, so I'm going to click on this and I'm going to make a mask. And okay, you can see that that looks really crummy. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to edit our mask. So we want to click right there on the mask, and we're going to click right here on the on the black. And then we're going to go to, so now we're going to be, since I've clicked on the mask, we're going to be editing the mask. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the brush, the regular old brush tool, okay? And I want the brush right there, it's a little too big, so I'm going to just change the size down like right about like that, I think. And then we're going to make it middle fuzziness, so the hardness is a little bit. So now watch what happens. So as I go like this, I'm subtracting from it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip-flop this, and if I use the white, then I'm going to be adding to the selection. So you can see I'm adding to the selection. So what we'll do is we'll go like this. We'll add to it probably a little bit more than we need. Okay, so something like that. We're going to add to it a little more than we need. Okay, so we'll get all the starfish back. And then from there, what we'll do is we'll subtract what we don't want. Okay, so I got the starfish, getting it. Okay, so that's pretty much got what I want. Now I'm gonna flip-flop. I'm gonna go back to the black, and then I'm gonna change this to be a little smaller. Okay, and then I'm gonna change this to be less fuzzy. I don't want to fuzz it. I want the edges to be a little sharper. And so then I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna delete the part I don't want. Okay, so I don't want to. This will take a little time, and I don't want you to have to suffer through it. So I'm going to finish this thing up real quick. You guys finish it up, and then I'm going to come back when I'm done. Okay, so I got the starfish about how I want it, and so I'm going to double click and take a look and see how things are looking so far. And I'm going to go to the starfish. I'm going to go to the move tool. I'm going to move him up right there, kind of where I want him. All right, so I'm liking this so far. All right, let's see what's next on the spiel here. Okay, so we're going to use fill and adjustment layers. So what I'm going to do on this is, I don't like this house because this is kind of a vintage photo and I want to make this look more vintage. So I'm going to use a filter and I'm going to make this look black and white as well. So the first thing we have to do is we click on the layer, and then we're going to come over here and we're going to and we come here and the black and white option is not there. What the heck is going on? Why can't we change it to black and white? It doesn't like the CMYK, so we're going to go to image, we're going to go to mode, and we're going to switch from CMYK to RGB, and we're going to not merge. Okay, so we're going to make sure again, okay, we're on the collage layer, we're going to click here, we're going to go to black and white, and you can see, oh no, it's done it to everything. I didn't want that to happen, so we're going to go edit, undo. Okay, so let's try it a third time. Here's what we do. We're going to go to the paths, and we're going to click on our path, and we're going to load that as a selection. Okay, we're going to go back to layer and make sure we're on collage, and then we're going to apply the black and white. Okay, so we've just that one section we've changed to be black and white. Okay, all right, and then on the starfish, what are we going to do with the starfish? Let's see. I think our best bet with the starfish is just to change the opacity a little bit. So we're going to make sure we're on the starfish layer. We'll adjust the opacity down a little bit, make it a little bit see-through, and then we're going to play with the different ways that it affects the pixels underneath it. I kind of like divide, but you find one that you like the best, and once you find the one that you like, I'm going to stay with divide. And then once you find the one you like the best, you can adjust the opacity the best that you can. Okay. And by the way, this is called the blending mode. All right, so that's it for this particular spiel. Keep going on to the next one, part 5.